Sunil for Showtime Movie News at Fuel VFX in Newtown, Sydney. This is the home to some of Australia's hottest visual effects artists who are turning heads in Hollywood. Their works appeared in The Avengers, Iron Man 2, Thor and more recently Prometheus, with Fuel contributing 35% of the film's visual effects. Co-founder Paul Butterworth worked closely with director Ridley Scott, and now he's invited us in to share his creative world. Well, Paul, thanks for meeting up with us today and inviting us into Fuel at VFX. But before we start talking about your work, can we talk about this fabulous workspace? Because it is an important factor for you to create a creative hub for your workers, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You've got to be inspired, and this is, I mean, this has got a fantastic history, this building. And it's Australia's oldest roller rink, and obviously we built this kind of new high-tech facility for doing art. Because,
I mean, most studios have this amazing foyer that has all the wow factor, and then you walk in and, you know, the visual effects artists are working in these really dark, enclosed spaces.
Like yeah. You know, look, it's really, really important, you know, for me to be inspired. Rarely do you come up with ideas at your desk. You know, so you tend to be, you know, in conversation around the coffee urn or, you know, downstairs near the table tennis table.
Well, there's certainly a lot of ideas getting hit around Fuel. Since its inception in 2000, the company's credit roll is nothing short of impressive, but it's their work on Prometheus that could be their big Hollywood break.
Whatever that probe is picking up, it's reading life form.
What do you mean a life form?
Oh, the head. It's changing.
Changing into what?
It's moving? These things moving?
What is that?
There's a ship. They're leaving.
To go where?
Earth.
We were so wrong. Take us home! If you don't stop it, they won't give you home to go back to.
Paul, congratulations on your work on Prometheus, because when you ask anyone what they think of the film, kudos go to the visuals, and it is an amazing looking film, but it is the visuals that everyone's raving about. What scenes did you produce for the film?
We were primarily across about 7 kind of sequences or elements, but the main 3 that we were working on was the engineers when they're in their ghostly holographic form, and the orrery, where you depict the entire known universe with their DNA rings flying around and stars galore. The holotable on the Prometheus bridge.
So these are huge scenes, like it's not a shooting star in the background, they're key scenes to the film, aren't they?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a huge leap up for us too. I mean, we've worked, you know, quite steadily growing in the US film market, but these were key big story moments, so it was very exciting and a huge challenge for our company, yeah.
And working with Ridley Scott, I mean, how closely were you working with him? Did you get to meet him?
Yeah, absolutely. We were on set. It was quite daunting, actually, the first time we met.
I can imagine.
You know, because you know, he's one of your kind of iconic characters that you want to meet along the way. Yeah. You usually come onto set with a bit of confidence that you know what you're doing, but I turned up at Pinewood Studios and I was as nervous as all hell. you know that you're going to meet this guy and it's going to be, you know, it's going to be tough. But he was really lovely, really, really passionate, you know, and I was blown away that he storyboards this entire film and takes time out to explain things, you know. So I did a lot of study beforehand to see the sort of pictures that he makes and how he kind of lays things out and what he likes and what he doesn't like.
Prometheus has landed.
They talk about working with visual effects taking years and years to do, and I read that, you know, a 10-second time-lapse sequence in Bedtime Stories took 3 months.
Yeah. Is
the process getting quicker as technology improves, or is it always going to be quite a long, tedious? Because 3 months on 10 seconds.
I mean, that's an interesting one to answer. The technology, the equipment is getting faster, but then the demands of what you want in something are being raised as well. So it stays about the same.
This is spooky.
Let's talk about the other films that you've worked on, because Ridley's not the only high-profile director you've worked with. Kenneth Branagh, Baz Luhrmann. What other films have you worked on?
Well, at the same time we were finishing Prometheus, we were on The Avengers, and that was our 4th film with Marvel. You know, and we very much feel that we're part of the Marvel family, having started with Iron Man and then Thor and then Captain America, now obviously the Avengers. So,
Well, I don't mean to harp on this, but again, how does a Sydney-based company sort of, get in bed with Marvel? That's just crazy.
it's been a very, very, very slow progression. This is our 12th year, and it's about going out over there every year, knocking on doors, growing relationships with key supervisors and producers and studios, and then getting them to, give you a shot. Here you go, here's a shot. Paint out this rig here, or tidy up this little bit here, and start off with all the grunt work, and then slowly but surely you get to prove that you can not only do great work, but you can deliver it.
Yeah.
And I think you have to work much, much harder here, being a remote company, than you would do if you're on the doorstep in LA.
And where do you see yourself going? Do you have aspirations to set up an office in the US? Do you think that's going to be sort of vital to your growth eventually? Or the ideal world to sort of create a little wetter here in Australia?
Look, we have plenty of ideas. We'd love to have remote international bases, but at the moment we've spent all our energy just growing the core of the company.
What's a favourite project that you've worked on to date?
Oh, for me, definitely Prometheus in the company.
Do you think it'll be the big breakthrough for you guys?
I hope so. There's definitely a level that you push into as a studio where you get that level of trust that they go, you know what, these guys are going to do something cool. Let them run with it a bit, and this was one of those films where we got to run with the project a bit more. But, I'm very excited. I love what I do, and I love making pictures, whether it's films or commercials.
Well, congratulations. It seems that engines are running hot for fuel, and I hope they continue to do so. So thanks for joining us.